filter do I use for my aquariums? What would I do with an empty 75-gallon? And have I ever been shot? What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. That means that it is Q&A time. If you happen to be new to this series, this is a series where you send in Q's and I answer them on doing this. Email address is on the screen, cichlidman09@gmail.com. That is where you send the questions in, and I will read them and hopefully set up the camera and the light and answer them for you. Let's get to question number one. Question number one comes from Daniel. What's going on, Daniel? I'm using my theatrical voice for this question. Hi, I was wondering what filter you use for your cichlids, and what filter would you recommend for a 125-gallon South American cichlid tank? Thank you for the question, Daniel. So what kind of filter do I use for my fish? I'm a big, huge monster fan of an air system, meaning that there's an air pump, runs up to some PVC around my fish room, and those run to other aquariums, and then I run via air. That guy right there is an air filter combination moving bed filter, sponge filter, meaning this bottom piece right there has got a nice little sponge on it, which works as a pre-filter and also holds some biological beneficial bacteria. And then up there, that chamber, I like to call a 2-liter bottle. Very, very technical stuff. I filled that with K1 Coldness Moving Bed Filter Media. Basically what that stuff does is it grows beneficial bacteria and it clashes around together. And because it clashes around, it slushes off the old bacteria, grows new bacteria. That new hungry bacteria does a better job at eating the bad stuff in our aquarium produced by fish waste. And what would I recommend for a 125-gallon South American cichlid tank? Whatever works best for you. That's the great, awesome thing about filtration, is that it strictly is case by case, fish by fish, tank by tank basis, meaning whatever works best for your situation is what you should be using. No matter what filter you use, whether that be the $400 canister filter or a $5 sponge filter, the same process, more or less, is being accomplished through this filtration process. In the end, it limits you to your situation. If you've got a tank full of a bunch of fish and you need a lot of filtration to keep up with that bio load, and you're maybe not doing a lot of water changes, you might need a big filter. If you're running tanks like I do, where I just run maybe like a single fish in a large aquarium, don't feed super heavily, keep up with my water changes, super fancy filtration is not necessary. Cheap, it's easy, it works, and it does a great job for my situation, but it completely depends on your situation in terms of what you want to filter that aquarium with. Great question, Daniel. Let's move on to question number two. Next question is from... not going to try and pronounce it. So, Forrest, first off, cool name. Thank you. I didn't choose it, but I like it. And love your fisherman. Hope I'm able to set one up like yours one day. So I recently got a new 75-gallon fish tank. If you know me, you know that is my favorite beginner cichlid fish tank. And I want to put something interesting in there. Any suggestions? Possibly. South American or Central American would be great. Now, if you know me, you know that 75-gallon is like my favorite beginner starting tank for these Central and South American cichlids. They kind of get a little large. So the options open up drastically when you go up to a 75-gallon aquarium. You can fit a lot of different kinds of Central American, South American cichlids, because most of them, there are some large ones that get 2 feet long, 2.5 feet long, however big these monsters actually get. But most of these fish actually stay within a range of, you know, a few inches up to a foot longish. So if this were my 75-gallon aquarium, what the heck would I put in it? I think there would be, I narrow it down to a few fish. I think Trimac, Amphilophus trimaculatus, Amphilophus lionsi, those are beautiful. Similar looking fish, different sizes. I think the lionsi are a little prettier. Or I could go to South America. Another fish maybe in the Cacatea genus, maybe like a cross-eye or a Myers eye. Two fish that I've never kept before, but will be fun to keep because I love keeping the umbies and the spectabilis. So that may be what I would do with the 75, but don't listen to me. Go on to the Google webs, the interwebs, and just look up all these fish. And once you find something that's awesome, there's a high likelihood that somebody somewhere has it and is breeding it, and there's an opportunity that you can get it. That could be your Hulk, like Hulk is for me, that fish that was random, never expected to get, but patience and time turns into that fish that really kind of changes your hobby and really turns it from just like a hobby I keep fish to these things are my pets and I love them. Almost 3 years later now, I couldn't be happier with what happened. Don't find a random fish out there that might change your hobby. for the better. And I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you so much for always tuning in every Wednesday for another Q&A. Send in your questions to cichlidman09@gmail.com. There, and now up there, and now back down here, now up there. If today just happens to be the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, make sure you click that subscribe button. If you liked it, click the thumbs up. We will see you next Wednesday for another Q&A. I will see you this Sunday for another Fisherman Life Hack. See you next time. Just happens to be this little guy right here. What is it? Crazy. As you can tell, I'm not sure, but I might figure that out.